Hello, this is the second video in a series in which I am covering practice problems set 3-5. These practice problems are about translating from English to the language of truth functional logic. In the first of the videos, I focused on conjunction, and this video will focus on disjunction. And some of the problems will involve using negation as well as using disjunction. Let me start with number 11, which says, it's a great time to buy or sell a home. Now, let me just remind you that in the language of truth functional logic, our variables always have to stand for simple statements, that is, statements that cannot be broken up into further statements. They have to stand for complete sentences, and they have to stand for affirmative statements, statements that are saying something that's true, saying that something is true, as contrasted with negations, which are saying that something is false. So again, number 11 says, it's a great time to buy or sell a home. The word or indicates disjunction, so it will be giving us a logical symbol. So let me get complete sentences, or make complete sentences from the words on either side of the word or. I will let P stand for it's a great time to buy a home. And then to get a complete sentence from the words after the word or, which is say sell a home, I'll say it's a great time to sell a home. Well, we've got then, as an intermediate step, P or Q. The word or in English expresses disjunction, and in the language of truth functional logic, we represent disjunction with this symbol. It looks like the lowercase letter v, but we call it the wedge. So we get P wedge Q as our translation here. All right, let me go on to number 12. Number 12 says, Santana Moss won't play Sunday unless he is at full strength. So let's think about our variables here. The only trick, or it's not even a trick, but the only little bit of a complication here is to remember to let our variables stand for affirmative statements. So I will not have a variable stand for Santana Moss won't play Sunday. I will have one stand for Santana Moss will play Sunday. The word unless is indicating a logical relationship, so skip over it. It'll be giving us a symbol. And then we have the statement, he is at full strength. I can start the assignment for Q with the pronoun he, because there's only one person to whom he could refer, Santana Moss. If you wanted to repeat his name instead of using the pronoun he, that would be fine too. It doesn't make any difference at this point. As an intermediate step translation, well, I noticed that the original was the negation of P. It said he won't play Sunday unless he is at full strength. Now, there is a way to translate unless conditionally, but it's complicated and very easy to make mistakes doing so. I covered that at some length in the reading. I'm not going to go into all those details right now. What I am going to do right now is tell you, you will never go wrong if you just translate unless as giving you disjunction. So from negation sign P unless Q, we'll finish our translation by getting negation sign P wedge Q. There are some times when you will encounter unless at the beginning of a statement followed by two disjunctions, disjuncts. The placement of unless, whether it's in front of two disjuncts or between two disjuncts, makes no difference to our translation. We would still put the wedge between the two disjuncts, of course. This is kind of analogous, or it's very similar actually, to situations in which a contrast word or phrase that is indicating conjunction is placed before the two conjuncts. And of course, we don't put an ampersand representing conjunction before two conjuncts. We put it between the conjuncts in question. All right, now going to number 13, let me kind of segue into this by reminding you that or is ambiguous in English. It's sometimes used inclusively and it's sometimes used exclusively. The inclusive use of the word or, we might sometimes, for trying to be super clear or disambiguate, we might say one thing and slash or another thing. That's a way of indicating that or includes the possibility of both. We might say also something like P and Q and maybe both. Disjunction, as it's defined in the system of truth functional logic with which we're working, represents the inclusive use of the word or. So what do we do with exclusive uses of or? A common way of expressing those in English is with the phrase but not both. And we have that in number 13, which says, punk rock influence can withstand either a lack of energy or musicianship, but not both. All right, let me get my variables and then we will work on intermediate steps in order to get an accurate translation of this. Start with P standing for punk rock influence can withstand a lack of energy. I left the word either out of that because the word either is indicating disjunction. And then Q would be punk influenced rock can withstand a lack of musicianship. Well, let's see what we've got in terms of an intermediate step translation. We'd have P or Q, getting that from before the comma, and then it says, but not both. What does both mean? Well, both means P and Q. Okay? Let's take this now just step by step. We know how to translate P or Q, just like we did in number 11. That will be P wedge Q. Put some parentheses around this for grouping. The comma has given us the main break in the sentence. Well, it's really just reinforcing the main break in the sentence. I would have known where the main break was without the comma. What do we do with the word but? Well, it's a contrast word. And remember that contrast words and phrases, when they indicate any logical relationship at all, indicate conjunction, and we represent conjunction with the ampersand. Next, we have to think of not both and how to translate that. Well, in the phrase not both, not, indicating negation, comes right before both, which indicates conjunction. So we're looking here at the negation of a conjunction. That is, the negation of the conjunction, both P and Q. Well, both P and Q, of course, is P ampersand Q. So here's a translation of the original sentence we began with. As you can see, within the language of truth functional logic, we do have a way to translate exclusives of the word or in English. It's not a simple way. It's more complex. It's not a simple way because the definition of truth conditions for disjunction represents inclusive or. And so we have to use that, but then also use our definitions of, or use conjunction and negation in order to translate exclusive uses of the word or. All right, I want to do one last problem with you in this video, and that's jumping down to number 15. This is a little quote from Sandra Cisneros' novel, and the speaker is a fictional character, a girl named Lala Reyes, who said, Inocencio's family was neither rich nor poor. Neither nor is going to be our key here. But let's get our variables first. Let P stand for Inocencio's family was rich. And let Q stand for his family was poor. And we're told that neither P nor Q. Well, there are two different approaches you can take to translating this, and they'll get you equivalent translations, so they're equally correct. One is to notice that if we're told that his family was neither rich nor poor, that means his family was not rich, and it's also true that his family was not poor. So we get a conjunction where each conjunct is a negation. Another way to think of this is to notice, well, let's see, neither nor. That phrase is a lot like either or, except now we've got an N at the beginning of each of the words. It's telling us that the corresponding either or sentence would be false. Neither P nor Q means it is false that either P or Q. Putting that into words, it's false that Inocencio's family was rich or poor. These two formulae are truth functionally equivalent to each other, so either one is a completely correct translation for number 15. All right, I'm going to stop now. The next video will take us into translating conditional statements. I hope you're doing well, and take good care. Bye-bye for now.